Prisons are tense, sometimes desperate places. Violence, drugs, mental struggles lurk everywhere. But a couple weeks ago at the state prison in Ogdensburg, there was laughter and hugs and cheers in the prison gym. 17 men graduated with a bachelor's degree from SUNY Potsdam, giving them a second chance to make good on their lives. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Kenny Drugs, now offering a new mobile app to help patients better manage prescriptions for themselves and their family. More at kennydrugs.com. And Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Friday, November 8th. SUNY Potsdam has been offering a bachelor's degree in sociology at Riverview Correctional Facility in Ogdensburg since 2021. I was a small part of that program last winter. I taught a journalism class to some of the students you're about to hear from. Research shows a college diploma can offer hope, rebuild lives, and reduce the chance a graduate has of ending up behind bars ever again. I went to the graduation ceremony a couple weeks ago, and here's my story. Usually the men in Riverview Correctional wear drab green uniforms. But today, graduates filter into the visitor center wearing dress shirts and ties under a cap and gown. Instead of stone-cold faces that get you through a day here, they're smiling, joking, a little giddy.
Well, it's a change. It's an accomplishment, and I'm thankful for everybody that make this happen, It's going to set people up for the future and hopefully not come back to prison.
Joseph Duffy wants to grow vegetables and open a restaurant in his hometown of Amsterdam, New York. Agapito Camacho plans to pursue a PhD in urban planning and change his hometown of Newburgh.
Because I caused so much negativity there, and now that I have a foot in the door where I can do something positive, I would like to actually fix up Newburgh, New York,
Today is about hope, something in short supply in prison. Camacho and other students took college classes each semester in the next building over. SUNY Potsdam professors drive here to teach. It's all paid for by New York's tuition assistance program and federal Pell Grants, like for any college student.
It's an amazing feeling. I came a long way, and I set a goal, and I accomplished it.
By now, families have trickled in, and Jonathan Cofield's at a table surrounded by his parents, brother, sister who has a PhD, and a family friend who's a Cornell grad. This family knows the value of an education. His mother, Karen Cofield, looks her son up and down. He's been incarcerated for 17 years.
Well, I see a mature gentleman now from when he first came in, and I'm godly proud of him becoming productive, that when he comes home, he can be effective in society to help others not to come this way.
Cofield says he wants to do social work with young people to keep them on the right path. To be eligible to take these college classes, incarcerated men at Riverview have to be U.S. citizens, write an essay showing they're ready for college, and not have any serious disciplinary violations in prison.
It is so wonderful to see everybody in their regalia, visiting with their family, excited.
Nancy Lewis is a sociologist who specializes in criminal justice studies and directs this program. She says it's grown from just 18 students 3 years ago to 100 this coming spring semester. That's out of Riverview's total population of about 500.
It really is the culmination of all their hard work and all the hard work that goes on at SUNY Potsdam and here in the prison.
Research shows 75% of incarcerated people without an education reoffend and end up back in prison. If they get a GED, it's down to 55%. A bachelor's degree drops that rate to just 5%. Lewis says all but one of the program's released students are still free and will likely stay that way.
They're paying taxes and they're working and they're building their lives in the communities across the state. They're not coming back here. And they have stories to tell about their lived experience.
She says many will become counselors, peer advocates, and social workers to share their lessons with others. The program helps the prison, too, says Lisa Stickney, the Department of Corrections education supervisor here.
When it comes to disciplinary issues, We have a whole lot less when it comes to things that are motivating, that keeps our students, our scholars, our incarcerated individuals going, is the program in itself.
Are we good?
All good. Got your hats, your tassels are on the correct side.
It's time to file out. The guys fidget with their graduation caps and tassels. Outside, in the sunshine, they stride across the yard like superheroes, electric smiles. I catch up with Agapito Camacho.
It almost kind of feels like we're almost halfway free because we're not as constricted today. But at the end of the day, we're still in prison, so.
The candidates for degrees have arrived and are in their places.
In the gym, there are plenty of speeches, some formal, some fiery and political.
We can now recognize our place within social systems of stratification and reduce the burden and the stigmas of poverty, racism, and mass incarceration.
And then SUNY Potsdam President Suzanne Smith,
by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York,
hands out the diplomas. Each man marches to the stage when his name is called. Parents and kids and fellow graduates hoot and whoop and pump their fists in the air. It's so joyous, you can forget you're in a prison. But in back, corrections officers guard the current prison students. The students watch from the far risers, trying to picture themselves on that stage someday. Of course, there are a million pitfalls awaiting these men and their dreams. Most still have to finish their sentence. Then when they're released, they start over with next to nothing. William Stradman was recently released and is now finishing his bachelor's on the SUNY Potsdam campus.
Coming out of incarceration, traditionally, you leave with $40 and an inmate ID. That's it.
No home, no job, no transportation, sometimes no family, he says.
Without any kind of transitional support, I'm going to have to claw and fight for all of those things.
That's why SUNY Potsdam is starting to focus more on what happens after prison. One graduate of the program, Brandon Rodriguez, has started a not-for-profit called Second Chance Scholars. Stradman says it offers mentoring, counseling, and house-finding assistance to help these men get on their feet.
It has boosted my morale. It has given me a chance to be a confident individual and reintegrate into a community where I don't even know anybody, but I feel accepted.
The men here say they never imagined they could have any of those things back when their lives were broken by a crime, by poverty, by bad decisions. Robert Gannon wants to be a grant writer, maybe a journalist. He gave one of the commencement speeches.
This program, and higher education in general, makes the individual, the incarcerated individual, feel as if he's worth something, that he's got meaning, that there is something else out there besides another crime or another hustle. That he can actually go out there, make money, and make a name for himself in a positive way.
The messages of this day will linger long after the families and special guests go home, says Agapito Camacho.
It's never too late to change. If I can change, then anybody can change. That's for sure.
Today, though, the graduates will be led back to their dorms, change back into their drab green uniforms, and wait until their sentence is up, when they can begin to make their ambitions a reality. David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio at Riverview Correctional Facility in Ogdensburg. It's me again, back in Story of the Dayland. There are photos that go along with this story at ncpr.org. It's very rare that the prison even lets a camera in at all. Cell phones are certainly never allowed. So these photos capture special moments. Check them out at ncpr.org. Music today by Tim Elifritz of Johnsburg. It's been a week. Hope you have a restful weekend. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.